Have you ever found yourself saying yes to a task or something that somebody asked you to do and you thought, why in the world did I do that? Or have you ever been in a relationship and you find yourself letting go of your standards even though you're smart and capable and you technically know better? Or have you ever found yourself allowing someone, because of maybe a title, a role, a family member, encroaching on your boundaries and you think, I am too smart for this, and you don't know why? Well, it's not because you're lazy or you're incompetent. It's because you don't understand the 3 things you need in order for you to have unshakable confidence. My name is Sheree Cain-Jones. You can call me Coach Sheree, and for over a decade, I've been helping women to speak, think, and act confidently so they can be paid and treated what they're worth, from their relationships all the way to work, and even if they speak on stage. Well, that was me, where I found myself as a smart, capable woman like you. You're high achieving, you're smart, you have the degrees, the certifications, the success, but you find yourself shrinking in your confidence. You're in a room and instead of you speaking with your voice, sometimes you shrink your voice. Or maybe it's in a relationship you do this and you don't know why. It's because you're missing one of these 3 things. The first thing you're probably missing is a life philosophy. You might be thinking, okay, a life philosophy? Sheree, I thought you were going to say I need some executive presence. I need to understand how to articulate myself. Girl, a life philosophy? Yes. Oh my gosh, ladies, we need to be having ourselves a life philosophy. And the reason is not because you're Plato or Socrates. A life philosophy, what it is it's a set of beliefs that's going to govern your life. If you don't understand what is governing your life, then that means that anything can govern your life. That means that somebody else's opinion can govern your life. A old family narrative can govern your life. It means your worst thoughts can govern your life. I find that a lot of women live by what I call unintentional living. They just find themselves reacting instead of making decisions. And that's what a life philosophy does for you. This is something that I teach in my intensive, where I help women to develop a full life philosophies. So your life is not based on a bunch of opinions and many things that don't make sense. So let me give you an example of what a life philosophy is going to ask you. It's going to ask you, what is true to you? What is suffering to you? What is family to you? What is wealth to you? Your philosophy is going to act like the foundation for how you're going to build your life. So once you get your philosophy right, I want you to think about it, you're going to get your thoughts right. Once you get your thoughts right, you get your decisions right. Once you get your decisions right, you get your actions right. When you get your actions right, you get your habits right. And when you get your habits right, you begin to build a life that you're proud of instead of one that you're quietly embarrassed by. One of my life philosophies is around beauty. Now, I know you're thinking, like, Sheree, you're not the most beautiful person in the world. I understand that, but I do have beauty standards. I have a philosophy that I want to be beautiful. I want to look my best. Now, today is not the day when I'm looking all my best, but as a governing philosophy, I want to make sure I look my best. So I want to get my nails done. I want to get my hair done. I want to work out my body. I want to take care of it. I want to put healthy foods into it. Why? Because my philosophy is going to be the way I'm going to choose to live my life. It helps me to set boundaries. And because I have this life philosophy around beauty and health, I don't allow even my kids to disrupt it. Now, that doesn't mean if they're sick or they have something going on that I don't allow for an interruption, but I don't allow constant interruptions during my workouts. I make sure that I go and get my facial. I make sure that I go and get my teeth looked at. Why? Because my philosophy is I want to be the best me. And guess what? Your life philosophy, it should help you be the best you. And again, this is something that I teach women in my intensive to help them to design a life philosophy so they don't live life on accident. Because let's just be honest, ladies, we don't want to go another 10 years living unintentionally. The second thing that you are going to need if you want to have unshakable confidence is all about purpose. I always tell people you want to understand your purpose. Why is it that you want to understand your purpose? Well, I want you to think of it like this. So here's the mouse to my computer. and I could take this mouse, I could throw it at somebody, I could click away at YouTube and hope that it's going to do something. I could take it and I could try to do my hair. What's my point? If I use this mouse in that way, I might kind of like rescue my hair, but that's not right. That's not what the mouse is designed for. But when you know the purpose for a thing, you will not abuse the thing. And I find that so many women, they don't understand their purpose. And it causes them to have it causes them to have shakable confidence. They end up aligning themselves with the wrong relationship. They are with a man who is with them and he's good for now, but he's not good for next. They have friendships that really don't propel them. They have friendships that are maybe built on history and personality, but they're not built for that next level. So women will say, well, Coach Sheree, how do I find my purpose? Again, this is something I teach women in my intensive. I help them to get into alignment. Your purpose is based on a formula. It's something that I created, and you can write it down. Your purpose is the pain you've overcome. It's the passions that you have. It's the people you've been called to serve, and it's also the problem that you solve. I just believe that once you get your purpose right, you get your life right. Now, I understand what my purpose is. My purpose is, at its most basic level, to use my energy and enthusiasm to help women live their dream. And to simplify it, my purpose is to help other women live their purpose. And this is, again, something I teach in my intensive, where I help women to understand what their life's purpose is. Now, why does this purpose give you unshakable confidence? Because it keeps you, remember what I said about the mouse? It keeps you from using your life in the wrong way. When you use your life in the wrong way, you don't have the right boundaries that are going to be able to protect your purpose. So for me, what this means is I don't say yes to everyone who wants to meet. Why? Because I'm living on purpose. See, I'm not living by a default narrative. I'm living by one that's been designed. A lot of us, we try to operate our lives like it's a bag of vegetables from Whole Foods and you just stick it in the microwave and you never read the directions. But I found that just like the directions on the bag before you put it in the microwave, it usually works a lot better once you read those directions. My life really started working when I truly understood my purpose and I was really walking in my purpose. And then the third element that women need in order to have unshakable confidence is, to me, one of the most vital and the most important, is you have to have an environment that supports it. You have to have an environment that supports your confidence level, because there's going to be those days where you're feeling down, and the last thing that you need are people who are going to kick you down or people who are going to really encourage you to stay down. That's not who I am as your coach here on YouTube. I want to be the kind of woman that tells you, listen, you might be down, but girl, you don't have to stay down. You have to make a decision to get into an environment that's going to lift you up. Again, I meet so many women that they have relationships with other women that are based on comfort, but they are not based on being a catalyst. They have women that are there based on history, but they're not there to get them higher. And they are there as women. Some of you are in an environment, and I've said this before, where you are a Ferrari in a Ford parking lot. And you need to up your level because it helps you build your confidence. That's one of the elements that has really helped me, is making sure that I get into that mastermind, making sure that I'm in that coaching environment, making sure that I'm in an environment that takes me to the next level. Because confidence, ladies, it's not a feeling you have. It's a belief that you build. So these are the three things you need. Number one, you gotta have a life philosophy. Maybe come to my intensive, reach out to me and say, hey, Coach Sheree, I need to help building a life philosophy. Number two, you have to make a decision to understand your purpose, because when you don't know your purpose, then guess what? Instead of you using your life in the right way, you could end up using it in the wrong way. And then number three, you have got to get yourself into the right environment. That environment, it needs a structure, it needs a system, it needs a plan. That's what helps you build that belief in yourself. Because if you're not careful, what will happen is you will end up living by an old narrative. The narrative of, they don't want me here, I don't belong here, I should just stay here, I'm going to shrink and I'm going to stay stuck. And you don't want to do that. If you so choose to, make a decision to invest in yourself and get that life philosophy and your purpose right. Why don't you click on my worksheet below, and it's going to show you what's going to happen when you don't have unshakable confidence. Just click the link. It might be in my link tree or it might be below. You can just download that. It's free, and see what not having confidence costs you. And then reach out to me and say, hey, Coach Sheree, I think it's time for me to stop living my life by default, and I need to live it by a true design. Listen, I love you. I believe in you. As I always say, it's lights off me, it's lights back on you, girl. It's your turn now. Go out, have unshakable confidence. And ladies, as a high achieving woman, a smart, capable woman, I will see you and your beautiful self next time. I'll see you soon.